Welcome back, everybody. It's Jason, and today we're talking about one of my favorite authors of the last few years, John Gwynne, with his new series, the first book in the Bloodsworn saga, Shadow of the Gods. And the first thing I want to point out right from the get-go is look at this cover. I mean, come on. How could you not grab this book off the shelf when you look at this cover? This thing is amazing. As I said, this is the first book in a new series called the Bloodsworn Saga. It has nothing to do with the world that was created in John Gwynne's previous two series, the 7 books that take place in the Faithful and the Fallen world. The first 4 books of, let me see if I get this right, Malice, Wrath, Valor, and Ruin. Those 4 books are the 4 books, John Gwynne's first 4 books that everybody will recognize. They are the Faithful and the Fallen series, which was followed up by Of Blood and Bone. Those 3 books, I'm not even going to try and say the names of those 3 books because I can't remember off the top of my head. But this one has nothing to do with those, so I just want you to be aware that this is a completely new series in a completely different world. Shadow of the Gods is a Norse-inspired mythological environment which John Gwynne, his attention to detail in this series is exceptional. You are fully absorbed in this world, and it's something that you can dive into, and I can't wait for the second book. The second book, which is called The Hunger of the Gods, is going to be out about a month after you are seeing this video. The Hunger of the Gods will be out on April 14th, 2022, which is one of the reasons why I'm talking about this book now. I finished this book not that long ago. It only took me 3 days to read this book. It's not a hard read, but the detail and the environment is really, really, really fascinating. This is a multi-point of view book, and it's an exceptionally crafted world, as I've said. The 3 main characters are really well put together. They're dynamic, they're well-rounded, and you can see that he's setting them up so that they have growth arcs throughout the rest of the books in the series. This follows 3 main characters. There's Orca, there's Elvar, and there's Varg. Orca is a mother that's trying to find her kidnapped son, and there's some mystery surrounding Orca because she knows how to do some things that most mothers don't know how to do, particularly with a focus on battle and fighting and things like that. So she's an interesting character. Elvar is part of one of the warrior groups that it goes out and finds characters that are what they call the Tainted. Now, the Tainted are people that have the blood of the gods. In this environment, the humans have risen up and defeated the gods, killed the gods, but some of the humans still have the blood of the gods, and they are considered tainted. So they are hunted down and enslaved with these collars that are placed around their necks. So that's an interesting thing as well. Varg is one of these slaves, and we follow his character, and he's going to be, I think, a reluctant hero in this set of stories, and he's probably my favorite character. He's interesting. I'm waiting to see how John Gwynne develops him coming up in Hunger of the Gods, the follow-up to this. You care about each of these characters in this book, and like I said, they're very well crafted. There's a natural flow to the way John writes, and you follow them throughout their story. I do like one of the facts that he makes it very clear with each chapter heading which character that you're following. I recently read another book that it changed point of views. There was about 6 point of views in this book, and it was really frustrating because the author in that book changed the perspective partway through a chapter, and you had to read half a dozen paragraphs before you realized who the character was that you were following at that point. You knew that somebody had changed, but you weren't really sure who you were following. In this book, this is not the case. If you're following Orca, it says that right at the beginning of the chapter heading. If you're following Varg, it says it right at the beginning of the chapter heading. So that aspect I do like about the way John breaks down his chapters. That's interesting. Now, Norse mythology is quite complex, and John Gwynne navigates it quite well. The creatures and any magical systems that are within this, John, he's very attentive to detail. It makes sense, and you follow it along very well. So it's not too complex that you can't follow along, and you get the mythology. The gods are explained well, so it's not a hard book to read. It's very, very entertaining. One thing that, if you're looking for authors that write action and fighting and battles exceptionally well, John Gwynne is one of those. He's right up there with people like Joe Abercrombie and others that describe and bring you right into the action very, very well, and it makes a lot of sense, and you can follow it really, really easily. As I said, following up this series is his next book, Hunger of the Gods. I'll put the cover up here so that you can see it. That comes out April 14th, as I've said, 2022. It's definitely one of my must-reads for this year to follow up this book. I can't wait to read that book. I'm very excited. So I've only got about a month or so to wait. I'll be getting that on release day. So again, this is just a spoiler-free review of John Gwynne's Shadow of the Gods. I keep saying Shadow of the Gods, but it's The Shadow of the Gods. So The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, and in April we'll be doing a review of The Hunger of the Gods once that comes out, and I definitely recommend this. As a fantasy reader, you'll definitely like this book. If you've liked anything else that I've said that I've liked, you'll definitely like this one. John, if you liked The Faithful and the Fallen or Of Blood and Bone, you'll definitely like John's writing in this book. This is a neat new story, and I look forward to see where he goes with this. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please take the time to hit like down below, hit subscribe so that you can see my follow-up to this with Hunger of the Gods, and I will see you again next time.